Billionaire's Mistress as a Hidden Heiress. A Dark Romance by author Anika.
Chapter 3. Kiss in the Dark Alley.
In the limousine, Aries was trying to concentrate on reading an important document on his phone. Meanwhile, Sasha seemed more interested in some mischievous business. "Not now, Sasha," he said nonchalantly, his eyes glued to his phone, but she snuggled closer, her long legs crossed, putting on a show for him. "Why?" she whispered in his ear, and he groaned as her hand reached his crotch. Aries met her gaze, brushed his lips against hers, and Sasha responded by deepening the kiss. Her hand fiddled with the buckle of his belt. Aries suddenly grabbed her wrist. "Stop if you don't want to be fucked like a slut in the back seat of the car," he said, looking into her eyes. "What if I want to?" She arched an eyebrow, biting her lip seductively. "Behave," he said sternly, his cold eyes enough to stop her. The car pulled up outside the hotel, and he was the first to step out.
Cara, with a genuine smile, headed to the bar, collected the drinks, and served them at the red velvet-covered tables, ensuring all guests' requests were met. Her gaze swept across the room as the banquet filled with VIPs, and for a fleeting moment, she envisioned her father entering through the grand entrance, wearing his charming smile. The thought brought a genuine smile to her face, lighting her hazel eyes. She took a deep breath and slowly headed to the bar to get another round of drinks. "Thank you," she said with a smile to the bartender as she lifted the tray from the counter and navigated through the crowd. A loud commotion filled the air as all eyes turned toward the entrance. The room suddenly filled with a loud buzz of conversation among the women as they discussed Aries Grayson, the renowned business magnate and the CEO of the year. "God, he is so gorgeous," Cara heard one of the women whisper to another. She tried to peek between the shoulders of the tall men in front of her, but couldn't catch a glimpse of him. Sandra approached her and gave her a friendly nudge on the arm. "Cara, go there, they need drinks." She pointed in the other direction, and Cara quickly blended into the crowd.
Aries and Sasha, who had recently been the subject of much discussion, were quickly surrounded by paparazzi snapping pictures. Sasha linked her arm with Aries as they walked through the entrance. After a few snaps, Aries signaled for the paparazzi to stop, and they stepped aside to let Sasha and Aries into the party. Aries mingled with the investors at the party while Sasha was busy with other women. He tried to shift his focus to something else to distract himself from his arousal, but the heat Sasha had ignited in him in the car still lingered. He quickly outlined the reasons for his meeting with the investors and scheduled an official date for the meeting. Cara approached his table, and he took the drink from her without even glancing in her direction. "Thank you," he said in his deep voice. Cara cast a quick glance in his direction, but he had already turned his back to her, scanning the area for Sasha. Finally, he spotted her at the bar, laughing and talking with the ladies. Not wanting to join their meaningless chat, Aries pulled his phone from his pocket, sent her a message, and looked in her direction. A smirk spread across his face as he watched her take her phone from her clutch and read his text. Sasha anxiously scanned the crowd for him, her gaze eventually locking onto Aries. Seeing him head in another direction, Sasha slid off her high-rise bar stool to follow him.
"Thank you for this job, universe. I'm not sure what tomorrow will bring, but I'm confident you have something amazing in store for me, and I'm eagerly anticipating the surprise," Cara said in her heart. "Here." The bartenders passed her another tray of drinks. "Thank you." She maintained her charming smile despite serving 10 rounds of drinks in her 6-inch heels. Each time her feet ached from the heels, she smiled, thinking about the money she would earn by the end of the party. As she was about to turn, a hand groped her buttock and squeezed painfully. Cara's face lost all color. "It's always a pleasure meeting you," a voice whispered in her ear. Leaving the tray on the bar counter, Cara quickly turned and came face to face with Alfred Doyle. The biggest nightmare of her life. The man dressed in a white suit was in his late 40s, and his stony gaze sent a ripple of terror down her spine. Cara shivered as she saw an evil smirk grow on his lips. "I didn't expect to see you tonight. What a surprise," he said with a mysterious gleam in his eyes. Cara, his thumb lightly brushed the metal of her name tag, pinned to the left side of her starched white shirt. Cara's mouth went dry, and a cold sweat broke out on her forehead. "Oh, why are you scared of me?" Alfred grabbed a napkin from the counter and tried to wipe the sweat from her face, but she pushed him away and quickly darted into the crowd. She just ran without a care for the job, the money, or anything else. She slipped out the back door through the kitchen and into the dark, empty alley.
Aries exhaled clouds of smoke into the air when he heard the sharp click of heels. He stomped out his cigarette, and as he turned, Cara bumped into him. Everything around them paused as Aries wrapped his strong arm around her waist. Her heartbeat quickened, loud enough for both of them to hear it in the dark, silent alley. Cara's heart was pounding, and her mind couldn't quite wrap itself around what was happening. She stood frozen in his arms, unable to move. Aries pressed her against the wall, and the space between them was charged with unspoken tension. "You shouldn't have teased me," he whispered in her ear. Cara knitted her eyebrows in confusion, and before she could understand anything, Aries captured her lips in a dark, demanding kiss that tasted of possessive longing.
Chapter 3 ends. If you want to know why a single kiss leaves Aries shaken, what he saw in those hazel eyes that won't let him rest, why Cara's ordinary life is anything but ordinary, and how a car she refuses to sell ties her fate to the most dangerous man she's met, you need to read the next chapter. Find the link in the description box. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this chapter, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming chapters.